Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. StrangeNet here. So today I'm going to be taking a look at some Abyss running, and I've been using 2 Retributions and a Decon to run Tier 3 Electricals. Now the nice thing about Tier 3 Electricals is the price of them has come down substantially over the last couple of months, and you can see here you can buy 600k where they were at 6 million. So in the past it wasn't anywhere near worth doing these, because for the average that I've done over the 36 runs I've just done, I have made an average of 48 million ISK. Obviously take out 15 million of that if you were buying the filaments at the 5 million ISK mark, and it wouldn't particularly be worth it. So the fact that filaments have dropped substantially is quite nice, and you can see here this is the loot that I have from doing 36 runs. 2 skill books, which is quite nice, and something, the unstable large cap multi-plasmid here, pretty nice as well, although under egged on the average here. But yeah, so again, that's what I've been doing, and I'm going to share a few runs with you, run through what it is that I've been doing, how I do it, and all that good stuff, and have a quick look at the fit. Now the fit, and again I like this because it's cheap as chips, which is what the name of it is as well. So again, 48 million ISK on average I've earned here, maybe slightly over because obviously the cap and the 3 skill books, but all in all you're looking at about 42 million. If I take that out. Each run takes less than 10 minutes, so these can be done pretty quickly. And we can see here the fit. And we've got pulse lasers, Tech 2 small remote, Tech 2 micro warp drive, and just a cap battery, 1 heatsink, 1 multi-spectral coating, tracking enhancer instead of another heatsink, due to the fact that it gives me an extra 2 kilometers of range. It's not necessarily necessary, but I like the extra range because it makes me nice and lazy, don't have to do much. I've then got the reactive harder armor. Right, reflective armor hardener. These can be quite handy because obviously it gives you resistance where you need it, and just a thermal coating one here. So as you can see, cost value 46 million ISK for the 2 Retributions. I actually think that's a little high. Well, either way, 46. So what's 90, and then the repair ship, which I'll show you in a second, is give or take 35 million ISK, so 120 million ISK all in, and that will take you roughly 30 minutes to earn back. So a nice little setup, really quick, really easy, really cheap, and just fun to fly. And here we go. So this is the first one we've done. Now, never used to really do the tier 3s because the filaments used to be about 3 million ISK a piece, and if you are dual boxing, using frigates, then obviously you have to pay 3 of the filament costs, and that can be quite pricey. So the fact that the filaments have now dropped in price is a huge bonus, because it means I can do the tier 3s. Electricals, where I couldn't really do them before because the filament price was just too prohibitive. So you can see here, straight off the bat, we are using 2 Retributions with pulse lasers, small focus pulse, and we are using a Decon for reps, which at the moment isn't repping much. Now the nice thing about this setup is obviously the Retributions also have remote reps on them, so you can heal the Decon quite comfortably. Now the Decon does have about 10k EHP and is pretty solid, so not much to worry about. There we go. Now as you can see, I'm using Scorch. I do sometimes change to Conflag, depending if I am fighting one of the bigger ships. but the vast majority of the time I use it on Scorch, and you can see here that we're trying to orbit at, what, 1000 I think it's set at. Yep. But again, the Vedmax are pretty quick, as faster than I am. So at the moment they are chasing my repair ship, which is dragging us away from the gate. So let's go back to the gate. And I like this setup. You can use 3 Retributions for tri-boxing T3s relatively comfortably, and obviously it will be quicker than the dual boxing tri-boxing that we are, or the dual boxing Retributions that we're doing here. But I quite like the dual boxing because I find it a little bit more relaxing. You've got a little bit more margin for error due to the fact that the Decon obviously reps so heavily that you can sit back a little bit more with the so it's just under 8 million. You can sit back and relax a little bit more, where I find that the 3 Retributions requires quite a lot more micromanagement, where with this you kind of stick the reps from the Decon onto the 2 Retributions and pretty much forget about it. Then every so often, if the Decon does start taking damage, obviously you just lock it up and give it some reps, where obviously in the 3 Retributions you're constantly locking up targets. Targets are dying as fast half the time as you're locking them up, and that can be obviously quite, it's not strenuous, but it just takes more dealings with, where, so say with this, cluster shut down. So 2 reps on the first ship that moved, which will be that one, and then 1 on here, and there we go. So and then I don't have to worry about or do anything with the repair ship. We're all orbiting the first ship, and that's just a matter of locking up the targets. Now, not really going to prioritize here, it's not necessary. These are going to go down pretty swift. I'm going to orbit the biocache and change it back over. Let's get rid of the anchorings. Got the Rodiva here, which is obviously repping the other ships, but again the DPS is coming in that fast, but it's not an issue. They're going to go down pretty swift, and this is one of them easy rooms. There we go. Alright, let's get down one of the Kikis. And so that's what I like about this setup. I can just sit back, relax, just keep an eye on things a little bit, and everything generally goes very, very smoothly. I've not lost a ship doing this, these T3s. Now, so I say, the T3s you couldn't do a few months ago, or you could do them, but it didn't work out, but it was worth it because the filaments were so expensive. You were paying... Let's just lock up the repair ship. It's taking a little bit of aggro, but nothing. Okay, why? Too busy talking, not concentrating on what I'm doing. But again, the good thing is that, to say, you've got that margin for error, and that's what I like about this. Right, we're going to get rid of the Rodiva next. So yeah, the filaments for T3s were in the region of 3-4 million ISK each, and obviously if you're using 3 filaments that you need in order to do the frigates, it was costing you in the region of what, around 12 million ISK to be able to do the sites. And obviously take the 12 million off the amount of ISK that you're earning, and all of a sudden it's not particularly worth it, where the filaments now drop down to 700k. So what, you're looking at 2 million ISK now to run the site. So obviously darks do work out better because the plasmids generally work out that you can sell them for better than you can than these plasmids. But all in all, I quite like the electricals. It's a nice change of pace. It's a different set of ships from the Hawks. I do love me Hawks, but again, you know, just having something as an option to be able to change into. And again, it's not bad ISK. Here we go, another 16 million there. That's pretty decent. Come on. Right, so let's make our way back to the gate because it's all about saving time while not getting stressed out. So here we go. Still got, and these sites take about, they're pretty much all under 10 minutes. So you're banging them out pretty quickly. And that makes the ISK per hour pretty decent for, well, as I say, a relatively safe experience. And again, strike-ins again. So the first ship that you move is the one that's going to be targeted. So I always move this one who orbits this one. Then this one moves, and then I will lock them up with the repair ship. So I know who's going to get targeted first. This one. Let's get rid of the snellcasters. Go towards, and there we go. Again, a really easy room. And to be honest, the only ones that aren't easy, or are easy, are the Karens. That potentially they can give you a good wallop from a decent amount, and they sometimes run away, which is also problematic, so you kind of have to chase them. Because these aren't darks, they're electricals, it means that your ships can be quite slow, and if they've dragged you 50-60k from the gate, it's a little annoying. So again, in the old Hawks, the alarm sound is terrifying because it basically means that one of your ships is in low shield and it's probably about to die. So every time I hear that, it makes me freeze for a second, thinking, oh gosh, what have I done? How am I about to die? But quite like it now, but I'm slowly getting used to it with these Retributions, because it obviously means that, yeah, I've got a bit of time and that my shields are gone and that ship is now being focused, so I can get the reps on it as and where required. But yeah, in the Hawks, it's a terrifying sound. So that was quite a decent little run there. Let's have a look, see how much we got minus the electricals. So 30 mil. So here we are. Second abyss, and we've got the deep waters. Now obviously for these we're going to get a lot closer, and we're going to use the conflag for once. Now I quite like the Scorch because obviously it's got a very good range, does good DPS for the vast majority of things that you need. Now if I'm fighting, as I said, some of the larger ships, these ones very much so, I will get a lot closer, orbit, because again obviously these are slow move in, so you can get in nice and close. Nothing's targeting me yet, that always worries me. What's going on? Let's get as close as possible. Now I will obviously start firing before we actually get there. Oh, there we go. That's not necessarily what I like to see, but at least we are being targeted. Now obviously we're just charging straight in for these, so they can do a lot of damage. If they do start to do too much damage, you can just use a bit of traverse and go in a little bit more diagonal to obviously help whatever they're tracking on their guns. So now that we're in a bit closer, I'm going to change to conflag on ship number 1. Ship number 2 is not quite close enough. We are now changed to conflag. And these are the really easy ones. And that's that one. So again, these are kicking out, what, 360, 360, 370 DPS each. So what, 420? Yeah, about 730, 740 DPS. Nope. Yeah, about 720. There we go. So a decent amount of DPS. Now, obviously, if you are running the 3 Retributions, it's handy for obviously these larger spawns. But I've found that you don't get these a great deal. I've done what, 30, 35 of these runs now, and this is the first time I think I've come across the deep waters. Now, it could just be RNG, or it just may be that obviously in lower tiers you just don't get them as much. But either way, the 2 Retributions take them down pretty quickly. Now, I would like to go and get the cash, so let's do that. I'm going to change to a longer range ammo. Not that we're far away, but it just saves. It is And this just saves me a bit of time having to do it once obviously the deep water's dead. There we go, 5 million ISK, not great. Oops, what am I doing? Keep going. Right, back to the gate for you. You keep firing, make sure everybody's firing. Now, one of the annoying things about the crystals or the laser weapons is when one of your crystal breaks, it just stops firing, and it basically looks like you've got crystals in. You try and use it and it won't fire. Yeah, we might see that in this, but we might, 64% damage, so we might actually see it. So change back to Scorch, and away we go for room number 2. Now the deep waters took us 4 minutes, just under. So they're one of the longer ones, and again the Karen can be a little bit longer. Now this is one of the nastier rooms, because obviously the angels can shoot you from literally across the room, which is always great fun. But same thing applies. This time I'm going to put all 3 reps on this ship. First one to move, just to make sure that we take them out. And I am splitting fire here, which I don't really want to do. I'm going to concentrate fire, and we're going to orbit the Cinnabal, because the Cinnables are the ones that do most of the damage. No, that's probably not true actually, but it's the ones I want to take down first. Now I could change to closer range ammo, but again these ships move pretty quickly, and again you can see here all some of them 10k out, so oh, the Cinnabal is what I want. Now this is one where you want to keep an eye on your repair ship. It is taking a little bit of damage, but nothing too terrible. No, not doing very well here in selecting targets. Again, that wonderful sound. Repair ship is taking a little bit more damage, so we're going to put a rep on it just to be on the safe side. And we are miles away. You see, this is where we have made a mistake. Right, let's all fly towards the repair ship. And this, again, because obviously the EHP is so good on the Decon, even with one of the more deadlier rooms in the Abyss, it's not really an issue. And there we go, we're in rep range now. And again, I've got rep range from miles away as well, because obviously and disaster averted. Second ship has taken a bit of damage. Put a repper on, and there we go. Right, and I'm shooting my own ship again. So that could have been a bit of a problem, but as you can see, with the 3 ships, the 2 Retributions and the Decon, it was easily repped. Got back into range as soon as I realised what was going on, and everything is fine and dandy in the end. But yeah, that could have been painful if I'd have been in the 3 Retributions. So as I said, it does give you that margin for error, and I think that is a very good representation there of how quickly things can go wrong. And here we go, we're about to run out of crystals. Have we run out of crystals entirely? On flag, Scorch, no. So there we go. Right, let's go pick up a box and be thankful we got away with that horrible mistake. Now that is generally the only thing that is going to wreck your day in the tier 3 Retribution setup, is basically your own mistakes. The ships in here pretty much can't take you out. The only one that ever really worries me are the 8 million battle cruisers. Now the battle cruisers can be horrific, but you can orbit them at a decent range here, but every so often yeah, if they get the tracking enhanced towers and the rest of it, it could be pretty nasty. But so far I've not had any issues with them, and they don't come up very often. You just need to make sure that you're orbiting them at about 15k, and you should be fine. Scorch them to death and everything's good. Right, next. Now that took us a little bit more time than it should have done. Another straightforward room. First ship moves. Second ship moves. Repair ship moves. Reps on the first ship. 2 reps on the first ship, 1 on the second ship. Because this room has a lot less DPS as I go into hard shields. There we go. Let's go towards the cache. And there we go. So there's nothing new in here, so I'm just literally just picking targets at random at this point. The Warden I might take out because obviously it's got the webs and that splits up my ships a little bit more than I would probably like, but again, it's not really an issue. If I'm doing Hawks in tier 4s or 5s, then yeah, it's a lot more of an issue. You need to concentrate on targets a lot more, but as I say, for this setup it's really not necessary. Alright, let's finish you off. Take out you. Repair ship is getting targeted. Lock it up. Now, obviously, because we are in an electrical, we get a capacitor bonus, so you can run the reps on all the ships, on all the modules, assuming there's no nuke pressure indefinitely, which is handy. So you could always lock up your repair ship and bang your reps on, but again, I only generally do it if it's starting to get targeted, but it's probably good practice to just get on and do it. 41 million ISK in that one, thank you very much. So in the 2 runs we have made 88 million ISK, so a little bit more than usual, although over the runs it does, or has worked out, and I'll show you in a minute how much we've actually made over the 36 runs I've done in total. So yeah, that is the tier 3 electricals, 2 retributions and 1 Decon setup. So I hope that was interesting. Again, I think that works out to roughly 264 million ISK per hour. So not too shabby at all there for a very, very cheap 120, 130 million ISK setup. Good to go. So hope that was interesting. I hope that was useful. Hope it might give you something to look at for the future. And with that, thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again soon.